Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is August 17th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. We're going to go ahead and scroll all the way back to yesterday, and we're going to scroll through the date, and you'll see we did have a thunderstorm. Look at the pop-up right there off to the east or the west of the Salton Sea, right along some of the higher terrain there. So you can see it was short-lived, but yeah, put on a pretty nice little show there. Probably had what, 10, 20, 30 lightning strikes associated with that. But then as we scroll on in through last night and towards this morning, you can see what's going on here. So we got this trough that's dug out across the Pacific Ocean, right off the west coast. We're kicking off thunderstorms across Oregon already, and this is going to start to translate down across Northern California as we go through the day today. There isn't a marginal risk here for some severe wind gusts as well. So watch out for that. If you're across some of the Medford National Weather Service forecast area in the yellow line here, some of Northern California and some of Eureka also, and some of the northern Sacramento Valley could be getting some thunderstorm activity as we go through the day today. And taking a look at that, you can see that marginal risk does extend in Northern California, and the general thunderstorm risk does include Redding, California, for example, but that's north of the Bay Area and Sacramento. Here's day two. Looks like we get a little bit of break from thunderstorm activity here across the state, but it should still be apparent across Utah and Arizona. Here's day three, something similar. By looking at today, we also have some critical burn environments out there across some extreme northeastern California, portions of Nevada, and through Oregon here as well, and some breezy conditions, especially as we go through the afternoon and evening tonight. So watch out for that. Also could get, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, you could get some fire starts from the lightning activity today, and this is for tomorrow. Some elevated fire risk still out and about. So we take a look at the European. This is for today. This is this afternoon. Again, just north of Sacramento in the Bay Area, lightning potential will be had. And you can see some of that activity trying to slide into some of the extreme eastern portions of California. Can't rule out a straight thunderstorm there, but most of that activity should be across Arizona and Utah. And we scroll on in through Sunday here, and it drifts a bit further east. We go through Monday afternoon here, and then there's Tuesday afternoon. Now, taking a look at the North American model, this is for today. This is hot off the presses what the Doppler radar may look like over the next 60 hours. But you can see this thunderstorm activity will be picking up as we go towards this is about 1 o'clock. There's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You can see just off to the north and west of Red Bluff here, and some pretty strong storms in there. There's some pretty good downpours associated with that. And again, some prolific lightning producing storms could be moving through as we go on into the evening hours and finally coming to an end as we go through Sunday morning. Now, taking a look at the trough off the coastline here, this is last night's GFS run. Let's put that into motion, and you can see this is what's causing that thunderstorm activity today. Then this starts to drift off across the Pacific Northwest. The ridge starts to rebuild here as we go through the early portion of next week, but then the GFS wants to do something kind of crazier as it keeps the troughing going, and of course that would, give us some suppressed temperatures here and keep the temperatures at least seasonable here across the area and a bit cooler than normal across some portions of Northern California. And then, this is kind of a fantasy forecast, but it really wants to dig out this trough here right over the state of California. That could even cause some showers across central and northern California, but we'll be watching that because the European doesn't quite show a trough that robust across the region, but that would definitely keep the ridge at bay. It's just kind of nice to look at. Just a fantasy forecast for now. We'll be watching it on a daily basis. Now, take a look at what that would bring. First of all, there's today's thunderstorm activity here, but then we scroll up into the future. Then you can see that upper level low start to drop down as we go through the extended forecast. And it does bring some precipitation with it. You can kind of see it there, but it would still be a relatively dry system, across much of the state. So, we'll watch that. It's still a fantasy forecast for now. Taking a look at the European, let's see how this compares. This is last night's run, 144 hours, and then we'll check yesterday afternoons. But you can see it does bring this trough down, but it's more of an inside slider. It doesn't go quite as far, to the south. So, yeah, but that's kind of a nice signal there, though, as we go on in through next week. You can obviously see that ridge would be shunted off to the south and east under this scenario. Now, looking at the 2-meter temperature anomaly over a 10-day period as we scroll through the 10 days, you can kind of see that troughing still will be hanging around some of the west here for some below average conditions, although that's not going to be the case for some of central and southern California, also portions of Arizona and Utah and New Mexico above average. We also have a chance for tropical cyclone formation here over the next 48 hours. So, yeah, we've got this going. We'll take a look at where this is scheduled to go on yesterday afternoon's European, to be exact. impact. And you can see these tropical systems out here should not have any impact on the southwest USA. Just not quite yet. But we'll keep watching that on a daily basis. Looks like a slug of moisture wants to move over the Hawaiian Islands there, however, would increase some of the shower activity out there, no doubt as well. Now, take a look at the 6 to 10 day. You can see the below average signal, but the above average signal, including some of Southern California, as we start to move in towards the later portions of August. This is the 8 to 14 day, and maybe that ridge will rebuild here. Take this with a grain of salt right now. We'll break it down for you day by day. You don't have to put too much stock into that. And here's the 8 to 14 day precipitation. Also want to check out the smoke here quickly. This is, let's go back and do this again. Let's do the 12Z so we can see this go out a little bit further. This is surface smoke there. There's the Boise fire producing smoke. And you can see we do have a few other smokes, actually one that went active here, it looks like across some of the southern Sierra Nevada. So if you are downstream from some of that, you don't want to hear about every place else that doesn't dealing with smoke, and it's kind of nasty. But relatively speaking, much of the state is still doing quite well, although we can really pick things up when we start to move into later August and September quite rapidly, especially if we get any offshore wind events. So yeah, the Park fire looks like it stopped growing. There's the Boise fire here, and again, there are some fires down here. I'm not sure exactly which one the high resolution model was picking up on, but nothing too crazy right now. It looks like some of those are a few hundred acres. The Trout fire is not growing anymore. The Long fire doesn't look like it's growing anymore. And actually, is that the Borel fire here? No, this is 15 hours ago. But yeah, that's a pretty impressive 24-hour growth. Looks like 60,000 acres here. So yeah, that may be the one going on off to the east of Bakersfield here. So I'll have to start paying attention to that. And just a reminder, there is some of this increased dry and windy condition activity here across Northern California and portions of Nevada for the next few days. But yeah, here it goes. Thunderstorm should be starting actually shortly. Looks like there was a new thunderstorm just developed right off of Brookings, Oregon. There you can see the California-Oregon border, and this will be coming onshore here quite rapidly. So get ready for that thunderstorm activity here for the coastal areas and inland areas as you go through the afternoon today. But I'll be out here chasing across the Pacific Northwest, chasing that same storm here, trying to get some lightning strikes, maybe catch a landmark in the background. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for everybody clicking that like and subscribe button down there. You guys make this channel possible. Hope to see you guys again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.